Hey everyone, it's Saturday morning. I'm going to do some yoga this morning. So I'm going to start out in a seated position, open to receive. So you can sit with fire logs if you want, or whatever, as long as you're intentional with what you're receiving. So you're going to begin with your eyes closed, breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. When you release, you're going to release like ocean waves, setting or letting go of whatever doesn't serve you today, whatever isn't necessary, releasing all of that tension from your shoulders, your neck, being purposeful with this moment. Whatever you do, you have to be authentic, you have to be real, you have to be willing to let go what you don't need. Let it go, feel it and let it go. Breathe in, retain at the top, release out your mouth. Breathe in. And release slowly, thinking of letting go all of that stress in your body, all of that tension, anything that is stored within you, anything that isn't purposeful, anything that isn't meaningful to you today. Focusing on your breath work, focusing on the present moment, focusing on here and now, focusing on right here in this moment with your breath work, imagining yourself sitting on a towel on the beach, imagine the sand beneath your body, imagine the waves crashing, make the sound with your mouth, with your breath work, imagine the sun shining down on your back, the sparkly, glistening ocean in front of you. Imagine the sea crabs walking by and imagine them burrowing in the sand. Imagine the blue sky above you, so crystal clear. And then return to your breath, breathing in, retaining, and releasing. Breathing in, retaining, and releasing. And then slowly snap out of it and go to all fours. We're going to do some cat and cow movements here. So you're going to look up at the sky and slowly stretch your neck down, really feeling that stretch and that extension. And, for one thing for me, I did sleep bad last night, so really being intentional with releasing the stress and tension in my neck and upper back is imperative. So redirect whatever your energy is today toward that. We're going to lift your left leg out behind, your right arm out in front, and then move it to the side, feeling this stretch in your ab and your core. Back to center. We're still going to hold it here for a few moments. And then release. Then you're going to do the opposite, lifting your right leg behind, left arm out in front, and just holding it here. And then out to the side. And just holding it, feeling that tension in your abs, waking up your body, and then release. We're going to thread the needle. So you're going to lift your right hand toward the sky, gaze follows. Then you're going to tuck it under, feeling the stretch. You can even lift the opposite arm. And then you're going to do the same on the other side. So you're going to lift your left arm up. You're going to tuck your left arm under, lifting your right hand toward the sky, feeling the twist in your shoulder. If you have tight shoulders, this is such a good pose. Then you're going to go back to cat and cows to transition, really stretching out. And then I'm going to do the union of opposites again with my left leg out in front, my right arm out in. Going to pull it to the side. I'm just going to hold it here for a little bit longer just to warm up my abs. Just being really intentional with this pose. And then I'm going to reach behind, grab my left leg, and just hold it here for a moment. You're just really working on your core, your lower hip strength, and then you're going to release. Now you're going to do the same on the other side. You're going to lift your right leg behind, your left arm out in front. You're going to hold it here for a few moments. Hold. Move out to the side, just holding it here. And then eventually we're going to reach behind and grab that right foot and just go into this pose here, making sure you're not dipping your body. And then focusing on your breath work, returning to that, and then back down to all fours into a downward dog. Now you're going to walk your feet out. Your first time today in this pose, you can sway side to side. So feel it in your hips. The first pose is always the best because you're going to feel the tension release in your calves. Walk halfway up. You're going to do a half lift and then a forward fold. And then you're going to stand tall and then side bend to the right, center, side bend to the left, and then back to center, mini back bend. You can clasp your hands behind your back and then feel the stretch in the back of your neck. Just really stretch it out. And then you're going to put your left hand down, right hand toward the sky. Feel the twist in your body. You're going to feel it in your right leg. And then opposite, your left hand toward the sky, your left hand toward the sky, your right hand down. And then vinyasa. And then back to downward dog. And just walking it out and being intentional. Regrounding yourself, finding your breath work, finding your breath, and really being there. I'm going to walk my hands to the back of the mat, doing a half lift, forward fold, and then side bend to either side, just to feel the stretch in either side, being very intentional with each pose. And then you can continue to do the stretches on either side as well. I'm going to do it in 1 second. So side bend to the right. You're going to feel the stretch in the side body. Side bend to the left. Clasp your hands behind your back. Forward fold. And then just hang here for a few moments. You can even sway from side to side to feel it. And then left hand toward the ground, right hand toward the sky. Feel this twist, then right hand toward the ground, left hand toward the sky. And then you're going to walk it out and do a vinyasa. Back to downward dog. Regrounding yourself, finding your breath work. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go into Malasana Yogi Squat here. This is going to stretch out your inner thighs. If you have tight calves, tight hips, this is such a great pose for it. So just make sure you are intentional and focusing on that because it's a great inner thigh stretch. You can move back and forth just to feel the tension release in your thighs. You're going to want to stay here for a few moments to let the pose set in your body, to be intentional with this pose. And if you do want to challenge yourself and do an inversion, that's always an option. Even if it's just crow pose like that, or if it's an actual true headstand, that's also perfect as well. Sometimes I like to dangle my feet from either side because it's going to give you a different type of hip stretch. And holding the inversion as long as you can is so cool because it's going to reverse the blood flow. It's going to give you a totally different feeling in your body. Then you're going to go back to downward dog. We're going to go into a chair pose halfway up the mat. Arms out in front, gaze follows. You're going to sit here for a moment. Just feel this pose sinking into your body. And then we're going to twist to the right. Gaze follows toward your right hand. Back to center. Twist to the left. Gaze follows. Back to center. Standing tall. Leaning forward. Letting go. And then I'm going to go back to a downward dog. Walking it out. Then my right leg is going to go high. I'm going to step it through. I'm going to go into a dragonfly twist. I'm going to feel the stretch in my left thigh and leg. I'm going to go to a seated half split. I'm going to bend this left knee, keeping my right leg straight, leaning over my right leg. Just feeling the stretch in your right leg area. And it's going to feel really awesome. And sometimes you're just going to hold it there longer, depending what your body is calling. Then back to a downward dog. Then you're going to do these poses on the other side. Lift your left leg up. Dragonfly twist. Left hand toward the sky. gaze follows, and then seated half split. So you're gonna bend your right knee, your left leg is gonna be straight, and you're gonna lean over it, tucking your toes toward you, and then back up. Each side will feel different, of course, so whatever your body is calling you. Back down to downward dog, regrounding yourself, taking 3 breaths till we go back to chair pose again. Being really intentional with these breaths as well. And then back to chair pose. You're going to hold this pose here, and then we're going to twist to the right, prayer twist. Gaze follows. Do not dip your chest, your jaw into your chest, and you're going to open for full wingspan, holding it here, and then back to center, staying low, and then twist to the left. Gaze follows. The more you look toward the ceiling on the left, the bigger the pose will be, the more you'll feel the twist, and then open wingspan on that side. Back to center, forward fold, and then half lift, and then vinyasa, or you can skip the vinyasa as well. So whatever you are feeling in your body. Then we're going to lift the right leg high. We're going to step it through, going right to half moon pose, right hand toward the ground, left hand toward the sky. We're really going to feel the stretch in our side body. Just holding it here for a few moments. Then we're going to lift our left leg over our right, going down into the seated pose, just feeling it here for a moment. Sometimes holding poses and the strength training poses are the most important in the body, because you're really gaining this ankle strength, this leg strength, and it's strengthening muscles that you don't normally use. So then you're going to reach, grab your left foot out to the side, Padangusthasana B. Then you're going to hold it here for a few moments, then switch to dancer pose, grasping your left foot behind you with your left hand, leaning forward as far as you can go, and then to a downward dog or a vinyasa. Walking it out and doing these same poses on the other side. So you're going to lift your left leg high. You're going to step it through. Left hand toward the ground. Right hand toward the sky. You're going to feel this stretch in, I want to say, your right glute and your right thigh. And honestly, if you're doing it right, you're engaging your core. You're lifting your right leg high enough. And then you're going to go back down. We're going to cross this right leg over the left. We're going to sit down here in this pose, feeling this stretch in our thigh and hip area, and just really being intentional with this particular pose. Because if you stay here long enough, you're going to feel it in your ankle. You're going to feel what it's doing to you. And it's going to be strengthening your lower back also. And then Padangusthasana B, you're going to lift your right leg to the side, holding it here, and then grabbing your right leg behind you, leaning forward, feeling this stretch, and then releasing to a vinyasa, or you can hold it for a high plank for a moment if you want. So you just want to make sure you're being intentional with what your body is calling you to do. And then you can switch to a downward dog. Regrounding yourself with 3 breaths. Yoga is so amazing too, because I think we can start the day feeling like crap because we didn't stretch doing weightlifting, which could be what I did yesterday. You're going to twist to the right in this chair pose and twist to the left. And you're going to start out feeling awful and so tight, but you don't really know that it's this tightness and this tension in your lower back. And so as you go through these moves, you can do a vinyasa if you want, you're going to really release the tension in your body. We're going to lift our right leg high. We're going to tuck our right leg under. We're going to do a fallen star, a left hand toward the sky. We're gonna hold it here for a few moments. Holding, holding, holding. Just really feeling our abs warm up here. And then releasing back down to a downward dog. We're gonna lift our right leg high. Going to step it through. We're gonna do a pyramid pose. So our right leg's in front. We're gonna grab our hands behind and then lean over the right leg. Feeling the stretch in our right leg feels so amazing. Just make sure your gaze is up toward your thigh. You're really falling into this pose the right way. And then back down, and you're gonna do a dragonfly twist in this pose to a seated half split, which we've been to before. You're gonna bend this left knee, your right leg's out in front. Just feeling this stretch here. And then I'm gonna go into a gate pose. So my left leg is straight, my right arm is overhead. I'm feeling the stretch in my right side body. And if you're doing it right, it's gonna feel incredible. And then back to downward dog. Gonna do the fallen star on the left side. So left leg tucks through, holding it here with your right hand toward the sky. Just holding, 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 and just really being in this pose. One side will feel more wobbly than the other. And then back to downward dog. You're gonna lift your left leg up. We're gonna go to pyramid pose on this side. So clasping your hands behind you. If you can't, it's totally fine. And then leaning over this left leg. You're gonna feel the stretch in this left leg. It's gonna be so intentional, so purposeful, and it's gonna feel great. And then from here, you're gonna wanna go down. You're gonna lift your left hand up toward the sky. Then you're gonna do a seated half split into a gate pose, lifting your left hand overhead, feeling the stretch in your left side body. It feels so good. And then back to downward dog or a vinyasa, whatever your body is calling you to do. Regrounding yourself with 3 breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Intentionality and what sets us free, what doesn't serve us, what we don't need in our life. We're gonna lift our right leg high. We're gonna step it through. We're gonna do a reverse warrior, lifting this right arm overhead. Then we're gonna put our right forearm on our leg, lifting our left arm overhead. We're gonna try to go to birds of paradise. So this pose is basically where you're gonna tuck your right hand underneath. You're gonna step this leg through, and then you're gonna lift, and I am on like the lip of the carpet here, but you're gonna lift this right leg up, sticking it up. This is birds of paradise. It's kind of a crazy pose. You can always hold the bind without lifting it up, hold the bind, and here it's still gonna produce similar results. So it's whatever your body is craving you to do in that day. Then we're gonna point our right foot toward this side, putting our left hand down, our right hand toward the sky, our right hand down, our left hand toward the sky, feeling this stretch in the triangle pose. Then we're gonna do a reverse triangle pose, left hand toward the ground, right hand toward the sky, feeling the stretch in our hips and our legs. It's so incredible. It's really twisting out our back and wringing us like a sponge. Now, you can switch to this side to do the same poses on the other side. I'm just gonna switch here, starting with reverse warrior, lifting your left leg up, then left forearm down, right arm overhead, feeling the stretch. Remember, one side is gonna be tighter than the other. So you're gonna feel it in your body. And then one side might be easier to clasp than the other. And then you're gonna lift this left leg up to the birds of paradise on the left side, feeling the stretch in your left leg, really increasing your strength, ankle strength in your right leg. And hold it here for as long as you can. Challenge yourself. If you fall out, get back in. Life is about jumping back in, taking challenges and taking risks and looking at things differently. And then a release, and then we're gonna do the triangle pose on this side. So left arm down, right arm toward the sky, feeling the stretch in the right side body. And then we're gonna reverse the triangle. Right hand down, left hand toward the sky. Feeling this stretch right here. It feels so good. Whew. And then back down. And then back to a downward dog or vinyasa, whatever your body is craving to you. And then we're gonna go into a half bound lotus pose. So if you have tight hips, this pose is so great for you. So you're gonna lift your right leg up to the crevice of your left thigh. You can always just seat it here. It doesn't have to be in the crevice. And you can always just sit down. But instead, I'm gonna fold over to get this full extension and full hip opener in this pose. I'm just gonna hold it here. If you can wrap your left arm around or your right arm around, feel free to go ahead and do that. But for whatever it is, everybody's anatomy is different. So whatever you can do in your body and feel comfortable doing, feel free to do. Just hold it here. This pose is so amazing for hip opening. And it's just gonna feel so amazing when you release the blood flow back to the area. So you're gonna stand up, you're gonna lift your right leg out in front, arms overhead, just hold this leg lifted in front of you, then release. Now we're gonna do the half bound lotus on the left side. So give yourself a moment to shake it off on this side. Then you're gonna lift your left leg up in your right leg's crevice, leaning over. Again, if you can clasp your left hand behind, feel free. I am not that gifted with that ability of stretch. So leaning over, the more your hands are toward your feet, the better the stretch will feel. I think what's so great about yoga is how it really sets the tone for the day if you start out with it, because you could wake up feeling crummy, so out of balance, so out of whack. And this blood flow inversion, the somatic movement is really gonna I'm gonna lean this way just for sake of knowing. I would say here, but basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna lean, lay on your back and just lift your bottom part up. So actually I'm gonna do it this way. So you're gonna wanna lift up. You can clasp your hands underneath you to feel it, but it's basically gonna release the tension and tone your lower body, your lower back, your glutes. And just make sure you're being intentional. You're holding the muscles up in the right places. You're not slouching, you're engaging. Engagement is imperative in yoga because when you're engaging the right muscles, you're gonna get the right benefits from the pose. If you're not engaging all the core muscles, you're not going to get the benefit. And you can go into a full wheel too. So basically a full wheel, you're gonna face your hands toward you. You're gonna lift your toes up if you wanna challenge yourself more. And just hold it here. Feel the stretch overhead to feel the release of blood flow. And just really hold it here for a second. Regroup, reground yourself. And then sit back up when you are ready. Now, for the next part, we're gonna go on our stomach. It's basically gonna tone the upper body area. You're gonna go to floor bow if you want to go to floor bow, or you can just do Superman, either way. So, floor bow, you're gonna clasp your feet behind you with your hands and just sit up here. Basically, when you do this, you're opening up or you're strengthening your upper back. Your focus is on that and the lower back if you're doing the floor bow. And upper back gets, if you're sitting at a computer all day, it will cause a lot of tension on your upper back. So this pose refocuses on strength training and showing your muscles they have more than one movement instead of slouching down. So releasing there, coming up for Superman and coming down either way. Each pose is intentional. You can have your legs lifted up off the back too. It depends how you want to challenge yourself as well today. So Then from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into a plank pose, forearm plank. So you're on your arms, you're just holding it here, and then you're going to twist to the right hand toward the sky, feeling this stretch, feeling the strength training in your core, and just really holding this pose and being in the pose. And then we're going to go back to forearm plank and then switch and do it on the other side. It's focused on back stability as well. So this pose is pretty awesome and will really challenge you for sure. Then you're going to go back down to forearm plank. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into like a dolphin pose. So with the dolphin pose, you're going to lift your right leg up out to the side and just hold it here. If you really want to be challenged, this dolphin pose will definitely challenge you. Just hold it, hold it, hold it here for a little bit. It's training your arms, toning them, setting them for strength training. And then release, and then we're going to do the other side. So you're going to lift your left leg up out to the side, holding the pose, holding the pose, holding it. What yoga also does is it reframes your mind, and it shows you that there's something else to be more intentional about in life besides being focused on some of the small things that bother you, or it also will give you a new mindset on something that is reoccurring in your mind or plaguing you for the past few days. That's why I really like yoga as well. So now we're going to go into some yin poses, some stretching poses. I am just going to do floor bow. If you want to do another pose, it's totally fine. So you're going to open. You can have your legs as close to you as you want or as far away. And that will set the tone for how deep your hip stretch is. And just go as far as you can go. And as you ease into the pose, it will become more obvious how much deeper you can go. And gravity will do its job. Sometimes, some days we can only go a certain depth. Other days we can go further. So that's how yoga shows you intentionality for what can happen in life. Sometimes we can only go so far. We can only burn ourselves out so much, which we don't want to go to burnout. So we want to be aware to set ourselves boundaries to not exceed that part. And that requires being patient, being in the moment, and being self-aware. Yoga brings self-awareness to what we can and could be. It brings self-awareness to time and presence. It brings us to the present moment when we're thinking 20 steps ahead. It brings us to the present moment when we're anxious about what could be, what was, and what should be. And ultimately, yoga shows us that we have the potential to get there, but sometimes not as fast as we want. We have to be patient, we have to be kind to ourselves, and we can't really rush things in real life. Because yoga shows us that the moment, the time that we have is real, it's authentic, so don't waste it worrying about the future. Don't waste it rushing through something. Don't waste it stressing yourself out. And when we reground ourselves and recenter ourselves with our mindset really sets the tone. So being present is having all self-awareness and knowing how you feel in that moment and why you feel that way in that moment might be a question, but you can slowly move through it with your emotional awareness and sense of knowing. When you know and you can sit alone in presence and you can sit alone in silence, you have more self-awareness because you know how you feel because you're redirected to your mind. So just take control of your mind through somatic movement and be present. So anyways, I'm releasing from this butterfly pose and just setting my legs straight. You can do a reverse plank if you want just to reverse the blood flow. A pose felt really good. Sometimes we don't spend a lot of time in the yin poses when we should spend more because we're rushed to more often than not. So that's going to conclude my yoga session for today. I thank you for joining me. I do have some other social media channels. If you want to follow me on there, feel free. And I look forward to connecting with you all. Namaste.